Just remember, if we all go the extra mile for our client, even when we feel that we're reaching our limit, it can really make a difference in our performance.
Welcome back to another video in before I get banned from YouTube, but seriously, you guys can't even get mad at that. This is a real quote, okay, from the CEO of Goldman Sachs. Just remember, if we all go the extra mile for our client,
even when we feel that we're reaching our
like you guys heard it. He was talking about working 95-hour weeks because a group of young bankers basically made a presentation and we're working too much. And I just want to talk about this. A group of 13 US employees mocked up a presentation in which they told of 95-hour working weeks and inhumane conditions amounting to this word, which gets you demonetized on YouTube. The boss, David Solomon said in a message, "It's great that this group of analysts went to their management." And that, number one here, if you haven't worked in corporate before, that's a complete lie. When you go to management with your complaints, it's not really a good look. They'll thank you, like, for face value, they'll be like, "Thank you for bringing that up to me," but then they'll be like, "All right, so we need to start looking for someone else who fits our culture and our company." And then if you go to HR will, they'll say the same thing, like, "Thank you for bringing your concerns to me." A lot of people that are new to corporate, fresh out of college, think that human resources is there for you to make your life, your job comfortable and nice, but HR, it stands for humans as resources, like you're a resource for the company, and HR is there to protect the company from you. They do everything they can to make sure that you can't build a case against them if you ever want to take them to court. So they document everything, and they're not your friend. It's basically what I'm saying. And so when he says, "It's great that this group of analysts went to their management," like you can bet that these people are probably never going to get a raise again. They're probably going to be bottom of the totem pole when it comes to getting promoted. But he added that going an extra mile can make a big difference for the bank. Dude, it's a bank. You already have billions of dollars. Oh, by the way, this actually happened last month. That's why at the beginning of the skit it says February. So this happened last month, but it only became public this month. The CEO said, "We want a workplace where people can share concerns freely. If there are any issues, do not hesitate to reach out to ask for help." Again, this is all for good publicity to make him look like he's caring and understanding. But if you've ever worked at a corporate job, you know that most of these executive type people lie through their teeth, but they can't be who they are in front of the actual media. For me, I don't believe it. And please do not hesitate to reach out to us. And we won't hesitate to blacklist you on our employee list, pretty much. He also said, "I can imagine that many of you saw the presentation that a group of analysts shared with their management recently about their lack of work-life balance. This is something that our leadership team and I take very seriously." He pledged to enforce its Saturday rule to ring-fence junior bankers' time off from Friday evening into Sunday morning. Wait, what? Does that mean they have to work on Sunday nights? The world of investment banking is notorious for placing high demands on its employees with remote working during the pandemic, further blurring the lines between the office and home. At Citi, the fourth largest bank in the United States, the boss, the CEO, Jane, recently sent out a memo designating Zoom-free Fridays and reminding staff to try to schedule calls within traditional working hours. She also added a company-wide holiday at the end of May, citing the need for a reset. Okay. I mean, that's all really nice and stuff, but one day, at the end of May is not enough for people to reset from like the past, 10, 11, 12 months of working through the pandemic at home. But again, good publicity for this lady. "I know from your feedback and my own experience, the blurring of lines between home and work and the relentlessness of the pandemic workday have taken a toll on our well-being," she wrote in a memo. "It's simply not sustainable." She says, "Please try to limit scheduling calls outside of what had been traditional working hours pre-pandemic and on weekends. Remember those? We're, of course, a global company that operates across time zones, but when our work regularly spills over into nights, very early mornings, and weekends, it can prevent us from recharging fully. And that isn't good for you, nor ultimately for Citibank." So the only reason she wants you to take time off is not because you have a life, it's just so that you can be 100% ready to get back to work. I mean, if you read through the lines here. She told the staff to speak up. "If you need more time for a reset, it's not a sign of weakness. We're all feeling the wariness." She says, if you need more time for a reset, it's not a sign of weakness. I wish people didn't consider living their life and doing what they want to do with their own time more like considered to be a weakness. But you know, this is the US where get back to work. It's not as bad as Japan, which I'll make a video on. They have a word, I think it's called karoshi, which means death by overwork. I got a whole video on that, but I got to do a lot of research because I don't want to seem really ignorant to Japan's culture and all that stuff. Anyways, the long hours and high pressures of investment banking were thrown into focus in 2015 when a 22-year-old Goldman Sachs analyst took his own life after complaining of working 100 hours a week and working all night. I'm clocking in and I'm clocking out. You want to call me a slacker for doing my job? I don't actually care. Life comes before work. There's always going to be more work to do, and we all know that work never goes away, and you'll never be on your deathbed going, I wish I spent more hours at the office. It just won't happen. It'll be, I wish I spent more time with family. Oof, Josh, what about you? Yeah, I know. But it'll be, I wish I spent more time following my passions or learning about things I really wanted to. It'll never be, I spent more time at the office. Like, fuck that. Nearly 90% of workers say their work-life balance is getting worse, according to a recent survey of 1,500 people across 46 countries. Goldman said last week in the light of the findings going viral that it had since taken steps to address employee burnout among this small group and among wider teams, but they won't say what they're doing. We will address these concerns, which probably means take an extra 10 minutes at lunch. We're also being more selective about business opportunities that we pursue. What does that even mean? Like, that doesn't mean that you're taking less. That's just a nice way to say we're thinking about, I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. This means nothing. So yeah, 95-hour work weeks are a complete and utter joke. I think 40-hour work weeks are a joke. I probably work 3-4 hours a day, but in those 3 or 4 hours, I probably get more work done than I have at every single job that I've ever worked at. And that probably makes me sound like I was a slacker at my other jobs, but all of my bosses were plenty happy with the work. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Whenever you're doing something for yourself and you're really focused, you know, you can get stuff done in 2-3 hours. Hours are not productivity. Hours do not reflect how much you can get done. Your effort does. And so putting more hours in doesn't do you any good. And in fact, it does the opposite. Once your brain is saturated, once you're burnt out for the day, every hour after that is just exponentially worse. You might get 10% extra work done that next hour, and then you'll get, 5% extra done the next hour, and then you'll get like 0.1% more work done after 3 hours of overtime, And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. Always overestimate your tasks for longer than it will take so that you can keep some time to yourself, all right? This is unethical advice. Probably shouldn't be telling you to do it, but I'm just saying, when you have no other incentive after you complete your work and work more hours, you're just going to get slapped on with more work. At least space out your work and overestimate the hours that's going to take, and take a break. Go live your life. But anyways, that's all I got for you today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, click like, click subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And for everyone asking for a house tours sound really great in theory, right? They're super fun. But if you think about it, the reality of it is, here's the layout of my house, and now you can rob me blind tour. That's really what it comes down to. I might show you guys different rooms out of context, but I'm not going to be like, here's where I keep all my valuables. Like, you got to think about it from my perspective, especially when you got a lot of haters out there. So yeah, I'm happy to show you some things around the house, but I'm not going to give you just, yeah, you guys get it. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.